Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and welcome to Shifting Perspectives. I received a comment this morning, and the line that was written is very, it literally emanates from something I learned last night. It's about self-limitations. The line that was written is, it can take years to shed the ideas of other places on us, years to recover from toxic situations, people, and negative self-talk. It can take years. I was talking to Napoleon yesterday, and he's one of the world leaders in manifestation. It's extraordinary what work he does. And I was talking to him about my ideas on manifestation, triadic healing, everything I do. And he stopped me and he said, "That's a limiting belief." And I went, oh my God, it is. And I said, I thought it takes time. He goes, no, the only time it ever takes is the time it takes us to realize it doesn't take any time at all. And suddenly I could see every limiting belief I had put on me. Every one. They're subtle. So I'm going to tell you what he told me and show you. When we think, oh, you can't cure mental illness. Well, you can't cure mental illness. Now, can you? You just manifested that. And if you think, oh, it's going to take years to recover from this. Well, it's going to take years now, isn't it? Because you manifested it. In fact, this was the core of my research. I have two parts to my life. The first one, I have three parts, but two parts. The first one was, I want to stop the abuse. So I dove into education, philosophy, psychology, because I wanted to become smarter than my abusers so I could escape them. But then I escaped them. And then I had a second agenda. When I was going to therapy and I talked to my therapist, the very first thing they said within the first week of intake was, expect to have these mental illnesses for the rest of your life. And there is no cure, and you will be on medication for the rest of your life. Now, none of that was okay with me. I wasn't okay with it. I was just like, no, that's not good enough. I was angry because they dare tell me what I would have for the rest of my life. That's hopelessness. Why, as a psychologist, are you literally starting off with brand new patients telling them it's hopeless? What are you doing? So I spent probably 4 weeks arguing with my therapist about that topic, where I just went rounds with her going, you are telling me I have to take medication for the rest of my life? You're telling me that I have to have these that there's no cure to borderline personality disorder, that I can expect to have it for 20 years at least, if not forever? You are telling me that I have to live like this? Not good enough for me. Oh, I was not okay with any of it. And she argued on behalf of the textbooks. Well, and I realized the only reason why she believed this was because no one had done it before. That's it. No one had done it before. It's like somebody sitting there at the Olympics going, oh, they can't break this record. It's never been done before. And that is exactly the example that Napoleon gave me last night. Hitler in Berlin hosted an event to prove that the Illyrian race, I cannot remember the correct, Aryan race, the Aryan race was superior. And there was a black man, a postal worker black man, who participated there. And this man wore these massive heavy boots. And he not only won the race, but he broke a massive record in front of Hitler. And then the next year, when the Olympics were hosted and these races were won, his record was broken, and his record was broken. Self-limitation is our greatest enemy, which actually ties into the massive point that I'm kind of focusing on today, is, what if a God were to believe that he were a man? How much would that God then limit their abilities? Because, oh, well, that's not accepted. I have to be a man. But what if we're all gods? What if we all have these God powers? We all hailed Christ as a God at one point. We all deitized him. And now we're looking, going, we're evolving to the point where we are now on par with him. So now I raise the question, were we ever not on par with him? And the only problem was our limitations. So self-limitation, the idea that it's going to take time. You might have to live with this for the rest of your life. It's going to take you 20 years. The healing journey never ends. Oh, that's one I hate. Yes, it does end. There's 9 lessons, and they end around the 6th lesson. So it's just, you have 6 lessons to learn. That's it. You have 6 lessons. You just get through those 6 core ethics, and you're good. After that, you enter a whole nother playing field. So your healing is just repairing these first 6 lessons. Most everybody who's in a 6 perspective has 5 and 6 down, because 5 and 6 weren't abused by them. Everyone leaves the 5th and 6th perspective alone. It's really the 1st through 4 perspectives, your first 4 perspectives, the first 4 ethics, those are the ones that everyone attacks. So if you have any kind of a mental illness, it's because you have one of those 4, if not multiple of those first 4 ethics missing. That's it. That's what's wrong with you. That's what's wrong with all of us. That's it. You have literally 6 core lessons of authenticity, and you're missing a few of them out of order. So your subconscious mind creates a prosthetic to plug it in, which is called a behavioral defense or a mental illness, because you're missing a core ethic. You can't function without these core ethics, and they are identical for everybody. It's extraordinary. But how many things do we have? How many ideas are limiting us? It's going to take time. Oh, well, something like this is just going to have to take time. You can't rush this. Well, there's a difference between not rushing it and putting pressure on it to go. That's called resistance. But resistance is not the same thing as thinking that it's going to take time. We're using the wrong words again. And because we're using the wrong words, we're putting limitations on ourselves without knowing it. We are confusing limitations for resistance. Just because you don't resist something does not mean it's going to take time. Time does not exist. Time is a delusion. It is a limit that we put on ourselves. It is an invisible box of internal limitation. That's what time is. It is an internal box that we put ourselves into. It does not exist. It really does not exist. It is an abstract concept that we have put ourselves enslaved to. Stop doing it. Time doesn't exist. So when you watch your language, anytime you start a sentence with the word it takes. It's hard. You are manifesting your own problem. The words matter. Pay attention. Be mindful of every it statement you make today. That's the assignment. Look for your it statements. Be mindful. When you hear the word it come out of your mouth, pause and really sit down and think. Does it? Question your own belief. Question everything. So when you say it, pause, stop. It what? Does it? Who says? Why does it take this long? Why does it have to be this way? Thank you so much. If this vibrates with you, like, subscribe, comment below. Tell me which part of the video resonated with you. And donate. Help us grow the garden. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.